The phone rang at exactly 2:17 a.m., slicing through the quiet of Marcus Reed's tiny apartment like a knife. He was still awake, sitting on the edge of his couch, boots on, jacket folded beside him, because sleep rarely came easy anymore. When your days were spent cleaning office floors and your nights worrying about rent, rest felt like a luxury meant for other people.
Oh.
The screen showed an unknown number. Marcus almost ignored it. Something made him answer. "Hello?" he said quietly, careful not to wake his 7-year-old daughter sleeping in the next room. On the other end came a woman's voice, weak, shaking, and breathless. "Please don't hang up," she whispered. "I know it's late, but I don't want to be alone tonight." Marcus frowned, confused. "Ma'am, I think you've got the wrong number." There was a pause, then a small, broken sound, almost a sob. "I tried calling him," she said. "My assistant must have saved the number wrong. I can't do this by myself." Marcus could hear machines beeping faintly in the background. Hospital sounds. His grip tightened on the phone. "Are you okay?" he asked. She laughed softly, but there was no humor in it. "No," she said. "I'm dying." The word hung heavy between them. She took a slow breath. "My name is Eleanor Whitmore," she continued. "Doctors say I don't have much time, and tonight it feels very short." Marcus swallowed Whitmore. Even he knew that name. Eleanor Whitmore was a billionaire heiress. Money, old money headlines, charity galas, magazine covers. The kind of woman whose life existed galaxies away from his. "You shouldn't be calling me," Marcus said gently. "You should call your family." She went quiet. When she spoke again, her voice cracked. "They're all coming tomorrow. Lawyers, too. Everyone wants something from me. But right now, I just want someone who doesn't." Marcus looked toward his daughter's door, thought of the nights after her mother died, when silence felt louder than screaming. "What do you want me to do?" he asked. "I don't know," Eleanor said. "Just stay. Talk to me. Pretend I'm not rich. Pretend I'm just a woman who's scared." Against his better judgment, Marcus sat down. "Okay," he said. "I can do that." They talked. About nothing important, about the weather, about childhood memories. Eleanor told him she grew up surrounded by people, yet never felt seen. Marcus told her about his daughter Lily and how she insisted on sleeping with the hallway light on. Eleanor laughed. This time, real laughter. "You sound like a good father," she said. "I try," Marcus replied. Minutes turned into an hour. Her breathing grew slower, weaker. "Marcus," she said softly. "I'm here. Will you come?" she asked. "To the hospital?" he asked, startled. "Yes," she whispered. "Please, I don't want my last night to be with strangers." Marcus hesitated. He had work in the morning, no car, no money to waste. No place in her world. "Please," Eleanor said again. "Just tonight." Marcus closed his eyes. "I'll come," he said. He had no idea that walking into that hospital would change his life forever. Marcus arrived at the hospital just after dawn, his jacket thin against the cold marble floors. He felt out of place the moment he stepped inside. Everything smelled like antiseptic and money. Private security stood near the elevators. Nurses moved with urgency, whispering names he didn't recognize. When he gave Eleanor Whitmore's name at the desk, the receptionist's eyes widened, then softened. "Room 1801, she said quietly. The elevator ride felt longer than it should have. Marcus's reflection stared back at him in the mirrored walls, attired. Black single father with calloused hands and a janitor's badge still clipped to his belt. He wondered what mistake had brought him here, and why turning back already felt impossible. Eleanor lay in the bed, smaller than he imagined. Tubes traced her arms. Her skin looked pale, almost translucent. When she saw him, her lips curved into a faint smile. "You came," she whispered. "I said I would," Marcus replied, pulling a chair closer. She reached for his hand. Her grip was weak, but warm. "Most people promise," she said. "Very few show up." They sat in silence for a moment, listening to the steady beep of the heart monitor. Outside the glass wall, the city stretched awake, unaware that one of its richest daughters was quietly fading. "My family doesn't know you're here," Eleanor said. "They wouldn't understand." "I don't understand either," Marcus admitted. She smiled. "That's why this works." As the morning passed, people began to arrive. A man in an expensive suit entered first, introducing himself as her lawyer, then a woman claiming to be a cousin, and another, and another. They spoke softly but watched Marcus closely, their eyes filled with questions and suspicion. "Who is he?" One whispered, not quietly enough. "A friend," Eleanor said firmly. The room grew tense. The lawyer pulled Eleanor aside, his voice urgent. Marcus stood to leave, not wanting to cause trouble. "Stay," Eleanor said sharply. Reluctantly, Marcus sat back down. When the lawyer finally left, Eleanor looked exhausted. "They're circling," she murmured. "Everyone smells the end." Marcus frowned. "End of what? Of me," she said. "And of what I built." That afternoon, Eleanor asked for a private moment with Marcus. The nurses hesitated but complied. Her voice dropped to a whisper. "I need you to do something for me," she said. Marcus stiffened. "I don't want your money," he said quickly. She laughed weakly. "I know. That's why I trust you." She told him about her childhood, raised by nannies, praised for achievements, never held when she cried. She spoke about men who loved her name more than her heart, about how sickness stripped everything fake away. "I don't want my last act to be another transaction," she said. "I want it to mean something." Marcus listened, unsure where this was heading. "I want you here tonight," Eleanor said, "and tomorrow." "Tomorrow," Echoes echoed. "Yes," she said. "When everything changes." Outside the room, Marcus noticed security tightening. Whispers followed him in hallways. He overheard one nurse say they don't even know who he is. That night, Marcus slept in a chair beside Eleanor's bed, his phone buzzing with missed calls from work. He ignored them all. Just before midnight, Eleanor squeezed his hand. "Marcus," she said softly, "if I don't wake up, promise me you'll stay brave." He nodded, throat tight. Neither of them noticed the man standing outside the door, listening and smiling. What neither Marcus nor Eleanor knew was that this quiet mistake had already set powerful wheels in motion, and tomorrow would test every reason he ever said yes again. Morning arrived with a storm of voices, polished shoes, and sharp glances. Marcus woke in the chair, his neck stiff, his heart uneasy. Eleanor was still asleep, her chest rising slowly, unevenly. For a moment he allowed himself to hope. Then the door opened. They came in numbers this time. Executives, family members, doctors, security. And at the center of it all stood a tall man in a gray suit, his smile thin and practiced. He introduced himself as Charles Whitmoreland's uncle. "And you are?" Charles asked, eyes scanning Marcus from head to toe. "Marcus," he replied calmly. "That wasn't the question," Charles said. "Security?" Two guards stepped closer. Eleanor stirred. "Stop," she said weakly. The room froze. "He's my guest," she continued. "And he stays." Charles forced a polite nod, but his eyes burned. "Of course, whatever you want." Later that morning, Eleanor asked everyone to leave except Marcus, her lawyer, and a nurse. Her breathing was worse. Time felt heavy. "I want to make a call," Eleanor said. The lawyer hesitated. "Miss Whitmore, perhaps we should wait." "No," she said firmly. "Now." Phones came out. A video call connected. Faces appeared on screens around the room, board members, trustees, executives. Eleanor looked straight into the camera. "My health has declined faster than expected," she said. "So I'll be clear." She turned her head slightly toward Marcus. "This man came to me with nothing to gain." Whispers erupted. "I am revising my final directives," Eleanor continued. "Effective immediately." Charles stepped forward. "This is highly irregular. Sit down," Eleanor snapped, summoning strength from somewhere deep. The lawyer read aloud. Control of the Whitmore Foundation would shift. Major assets frozen. An independent trustee appointed. And, the lawyer added carefully, Miss Whitmore has named a personal executor. Every eye turned to Marcus. The room exploded. "This is insane," someone shouted. "You don't even know him." Marcus stood. "I don't want this," he said honestly. Eleanor smiled weakly. "That's right, you." Her voice softened. "Marcus, promise me one thing. Don't let them turn my life into numbers." Tears blurred his vision. "Promise." Minutes later, alarms sounded. Doctors rushed in. Family was pushed out. Marcus was forced back against the wall as nurses worked urgently around Eleanor's bed. "Eleanor?" Marcus whispered. Her eyes fluttered open one last time. She looked at him, not rich, not powerful, just human. "Thank you for staying," she said. The monitor went flat. Silence. The room held its breath. Then chaos. Marcus was escorted out as doctors called the time of death. The hallway. Charles Whitmore approached him. No smile this time. "You have no idea what you've stepped into," Charles said quietly. "Marcus will come for you." Marcus met his gaze. "I didn't step into anything," he said. "I answered a call." Hours later, Marcus sat alone in a private office, hands shaking, staring at documents he barely understood. His phone buzzed, his daughter's school calling. He answered, voice steady. "I'll be there soon," he said. Outside the window, news vans gathered. By nightfall, headlines would break. A dying billionaire heiress, a mysterious single father, last-minute decision, shaking an empire. And Marcus Reed, who only came to keep a stranger company, was about to discover that staying brave would cost far more than he imagined. The world woke to the news. Billionaire heiress Eleanor Whitmore dies. Names unknown executor. Cameras swarmed the hospital. Reporters camped outside, flashing lights like relentless lightning. Marcus felt the weight of every headline as he walked out with a single nurse to shield him from the crowd. He held Lily's hand tightly, keeping her close. She looked up, sleepy and innocent. "Daddy, why are there so many people outside?" she asked. "I'll tell you later, Pumpkin," Marcus said, forcing a calm he didn't feel. Inside the Whitmore estate, Marcus faced attorneys, board members, and Charles Whitmore, now less a relative and more a predator, sizing him up. "Do you understand the responsibility you've been given?" Charles asked. "You could ruin everything in a single misstep." Marcus swallowed. "I don't want their empire. I just want to honor her wishes." The room was quiet. For a moment, it seemed Marcus's words might not survive the tension. Then the lawyer who had read Eleanor's final directives spoke firmly. "Miss Whitmore's intent is clear. Mr. Reed will serve as executor of the Whitmore Foundation. Nothing changes that." Shock rippled through the room. Security whispered.
No.
Board members whispered. Even Charles Whitmore scowled, but made no move. Marcus, a man used to cleaning offices and scraping by, suddenly carried the weight of billions, charity programs, hospitals, and schools. The decisions weren't about money. They were about lives Eleanor had touched and promised to protect. Back at his apartment, Marcus tried to process the shift. Bills, schedules, his job at the office. Everything seemed trivial now. Lily climbed onto his lap. "Daddy, can we help people like she did?" she asked, eyes bright. Marcus hugged her tightly. "Yes, baby, we will, together." Over the next few weeks, Marcus learned fast. Board meetings, philanthropic strategies, staff oversight. He navigated each challenge with honesty and heart, surprising even the most skeptical executives. The news cycle focused on him as the single dad who inherited a billionaire's foundation, but he never let it change who he was. Every decision he made reflected Eleanor's wish: help people without expecting fame, without bowing to greed. One evening, Marcus visited Eleanor's private garden inside the estate, a place untouched by business and law. Her favorite roses bloomed, faintly scented in the night air. He knelt by the bench where she once rested, whispered softly, "We're doing it, Eleanor. We're staying brave." Somewhere beyond the veil of grief and media chaos, he imagined her smiling. Unexpectedly, a knock came at the door. Marcus straightened. It was Charles Whitmore. "I underestimated you," Charles admitted. "You weren't just in the way. You were the right choice." Marcus raised an eyebrow. "Thanks. I think." Charles chuckled, a rare sound. "Just don't let this world break you. She trusted you. Don't betray that." Marcus nodded. "I won't." As months passed, Marcus's life transformed. He no longer walked the empty streets alone at night. He had a purpose bigger than himself, a legacy to protect, and a daughter who looked up to him with unwavering faith. People in the foundation began to see him not as an outsider, but as a man of integrity, courage, and humanity. And sometimes, late at night, he would pull out his phone. Still remembering that call the mistake number, the dying heiress, the plea that had changed everything, would smile quietly, thinking of Eleanor Whitmore, and whisper, "Thank you for trusting me. Stayed. From the darkest, quietest moments in life can come the brightest legacies. Marcus Reed, janitor turned guardian of millions, realized that sometimes showing up for someone else, not for wealth, not for fame, can change the world forever. And tonight, as he tucked Lily into bed, he knew one thing for certain: some calls or mistakes have become miracles.